Woohoo!
Waiting for the
Man,
little green,
waiting
I don't know what you call it,
on.
button. Green things are happening, but I'm not sure that we're live, but I think we are. We just can't see it yet. So hello everyone,
Yeah.
welcome. We're doing some things. Not sure if they're working, but we're doing them.
Says we're live. Let me check audio.
Hell yeah. Let's check some audio, check some things,
I hear
check some
you.
things.
There we go.
Good
All
to
right.
hear, Mr.
Speed the
Miller.
string. Microphone check 1, 2.
We'll catch
Hi.
up.
Audio good, Jay?
Can you
Cool.
hear anyone except for me? I think he's listening intently. Hard to say, hard to know.
Incredible.
Yep.
Cool. We're good?
It's probably the delay, I'm guessing, that he's waiting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking for like 45 seconds before everyone else started talking. All right, sounds like we're good to go.
Good?
Nice.
All right. All right, guys. Welcome to the table. My name's Miller, and tonight I'm going to be your dungeon master. Tonight, we have with us, if you want to start with you, Two Hands.
Yep. Hey, folks, it's me, your friendly local neighborhood Two Hands, playing Triniac Ballister. Triniac is a high elf, blade singer wizard. First time that I'm playing a blade singer, so that'd be fun. Triniac is quite a bit of a beefcake for an elf, especially for a high elf. He's got a very broad frame, wears armor, even though he's a wizard, and has long, flowy, blonde hair with them very pointy elf ears, and does frequent the occasional tattoo. He's got a full sleeve on his left arm and almost a full sleeve on his right, and some tattoos on his face, and probably tattoos everywhere as well. Just haven't figured out where. And yeah, he's that's Triniac.
Incredible.
All right. Next up, Jay.
I am J. Crew. Hello. I am playing Obsidian, also known as Obby, to his companions and friends. He is an Earth Ganassi cleric of the Forge, and as you see, he is of the magma variety. And yeah, he's just looking to be nice and make sure everyone gets along, and then screw some things up if need be.
All right.
Took an interesting change of pace. Hello, everyone. I go by. My voice is giving out on me. No, I'm Eludria. I will be playing Pine this evening. They are a stoic, growly druid who has seen too much and has a purpose. You don't
All
want to be
right.
that purpose.
So tonight is the first session of a new campaign, Ashes of Xeralia. Our typical GM for Sunday nights has taken a bit of a hiatus due to some health issues, so we will be starting this campaign in lieu of the normal game. So tonight, as our adventure begins, we'll do a little housekeeping for how we got here. The Kingdom of Laura has been attacking the borders of its neighbor Xeralia once more. The assault began about 2 years ago, but was cut short due to a rebellion inside of Laura's territories. This caused Laura to repurpose troops and abandon the Xeralia border, to which they enjoyed peace. Now that the rebels have been contained, Laura has once again turned their eye towards Xeralia. Due to their superior technology in the development of crystal weaponry, which is weaponry containing crystals that can absorb magic and re-release them in creative ways, Xeralia has been able to keep pace with the assault of Laura's superior magi. But aid is needed, and all nations are happy to answer the call of their allies against such a tyrant. Over the past 6 weeks, resources have been coordinated by Uzelian Agar, owner of the famous Wacky Wyvern, an adventurer's haul chain that has locations all over the Central Lands. A rendezvous in Old Centalia, Xeraxin has agreed upon all nations to send. Xeraxin was agreed upon for all nations to send their aid before making a united march into Xeralia. the convoy is to go into Belmar before splitting up west to Stillreach, which is the capital of Xeralia, and north to Swinstow, a town near the border, to supply and aid Xeralia's fighting force. We begin with our party in Old Centaulia, signing up to aid in protection detail for the convoy. Uzelian promised a 300 gold reward to each guild willing to make the trek with the convoy, redeemable at the Wacky Wyvern in Stillreach. You were all given papers that appear as such. Troops march to Old Centaulia from all over the continent. Researchers and supply carts pour in from businesses and institutions to supply aid and resources. The party has been assigned to batch 185 left, guarding a passenger wagon. At the current pacing, the caravan has been on the road for 9 days and are about to cross the border into Xeralia. Our party, the Elementalists, escort Alaric and Aliana from Oxmara College to Stillreach, as they were originally setting to help with the development of the Christ weapons. Alaric is a general arcane researcher, and Aliana a specialist in enchantment and divination magics. And the party's been able to speak with these individuals a bit over the weeks of travel. The formation of the convoy is set up front to back with Amit troops, the Kethi troops, Caravan 1, the Banyal troops, Caravan 2, and then bringing in the rear the Xeraxan troop. A horn system has been set up to instruct the convoy from the vanguard. 1 blow is to move or stop, depending on status. 2 blows is to signify resting for the night, and to assume nighttime procedures for guards, which are handled by troops, not necessarily our party. 3 blows means danger ahead. Caravans are to halt, and guilds and guards at attention to danger. The caravan is set to break in Belmar, where Caravan 1 and the Kethi and Balnial troops will travel north to Swinstow, while the remaining troops travel west to Stillreach. So on this paper that you guys can see here, your guild has been assigned to 185 left, which is in Caravan 2, cart 85, the left side of the cart. You guys are crossing, and I'm going to move us over to a new map here. Why is this not letting me move now?
The world may never know.
Yeah, they made this folder system, but I can't move outside of the folder I'm in. Okay.
Truly revolutionary plays.
Yeah, just move it to all. Awesome. All right. All righty. So currently, our party has made it to, where's our party token I just made? We're crossing our border around here. Ew, skewed. All right, so we are currently crossing into the Xeralian border. You guys hear the 2 horns blow as we are resting for the night. Now, this caravan is moving extremely slow, as you can tell with the number of troops and carts. There are approximately 300 or so carts being moved in this caravan, and about 4,000 to 5,000 troops. That is not counting all of the guilds that have signed up through the Wacky Wyvern to travel alongside. So when you guys rest for the night, it's a couple-hour ordeal to get everything stopped. Everybody sets up tents, so on and so forth.
That's a lot of troops.
Yeah, that's
it is.
That's scary. Why is
People
that
are-
really needed?
Wonder they're paying so well. All right.
Well, as we spoke about in session 0, Laura is known for having the strongest magi on this continent by far. The inbreeding that has taken place here to keep bloodlines pure, to keep the Magigarchy alive, which is quite a disgusting practice, but these people have been brainwashed into believing that this is the way.
This is the
Just
way.
imagine
So
like the
numbers-
hills have eyes, but the D&D version.
Definitely. So a lot is needed to keep pace with this war, despite the technology advantage that Xeralia does carry.
Okay.
So as our party kind of comes in and we're doing our typical stuff, we finally get everything set up and we start to hunker down for nighttime. Is there anything that you guys as a party would do besides the normal duty of aiding your passengers to set up their tents, perhaps you setting up your own tent? There is a ration wagon that rides alongside the caravan once it's stopped, handing out nightly rations to everyone. Is there anything out of the ordinary that you guys would be doing at night to ensure safety or anything like that?
Yeah, I can think of a few things, but I'm also willing to let anyone else go just in case they have some other stuff.
I'm just gonna just my normal prayers that I would do to Darak.
Okay.
Nice.
Just kind of sitting down, having my hammer in front of me, and glowing up and down, or glowing back and forth from light to dark. Essentially, as my body kind of merges with my hammer to see for synchronization of the forge is kind of what I think with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Anyone else?
Yeah, on my end, I'd probably just be doing a couple laps around the perimeter, specifically looking for any foreign scents. So turning into some sort of dog or wolf-like creature, and then being a second pair of eyes, right? In that capacity. Like, even though we might
Very
not
good.
see anybody, we might be able to pick up on somebody's trail, and that's a lot harder to hide.
Very good.
So
Okay.
that makes a lot of sense with what I would be wanting to do. So I feel like our characters would probably be just doing our rounds together.
Oh yeah, you're my buddy
So-
now. Like
yeah.
we've been getting together for a bit.
The first thing that I would be wanting to do is to ritual cast alarm around our area, and I can drop that in the chat.
Okay.
And the range, it was within a 20-foot cube, I believe. So just the 20-foot cube around wherever we settle down. And
Okay. So we will say, just for the sake, and you guys are on the new map, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
yes,
Um,
it's a nice map.
that this tent here would be probably where the residents of the wagon that you're guarding would be setting up. And we
Can-
will say that these 3 tents here are yours.
Can you ping those? Or like
I
ping to everyone? Okay, thank you.
thought I did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So this tent up here is where Alaric and Aliana are setting up. A bit bougie. These are very prim and proper people. But like I say, you guys have been able to speak to them. They're very nice individuals. Very informed, very learned people. And then you guys would set up, say, these 3 tents here. And I just
Sure.
noticed this. Please excuse my horse standing in the fire over here.
Dude,
but,
no,
you
I'm
know.
here for it. A little bit of horse goes a long way.
No mercy.
He's warming his tuchus.
Okay, so very interesting. I want everyone to give me a perception check. And actually, Abby and Pine, give me perception checks.
Happily.
With yours with advantage as you're in wolf form and you do have keen sense.
Yeah. I do.
From Triniac, I want an Arcana check because I feel like this is a general feeling you would get.
Okay. Well, if I did need to roll a perception, that would be a 21, and I will roll an Arcana as well, unless you want me to go with that one.
No, go with the Arcana check. Yeah.
Just thinking
Okay.
I already had advantage toggled.
I don't see my advantage toggle on my character sheet.
I
it's
am
not where it
noticing
should
that
be.
as well.
Hold on. Let's see.
Go to your cogwheel on the right side next to spells, and you have to click advantage
medium
toggle. It
effect.
should be on the right side.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Advantage toggle.
There you go. I said it for you, 2 hands.
Just got mine set up on my end as well.
Interesting. I don't know. It's already on. I'll find it later.
Yeah, I said it for you just now.
Okay, I'll need to refresh my character sheet. My Arcana is at 20. That's how I like to start my game off.
Awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we
I
got
was also wanting to
high
cast
rolls.
Detect Magic as a ritual cast anyways. I just forgot to mention it, but I mean that would probably make
Okay.
sense as well. Just I'm looking for things that shouldn't be magic. Like everyone's setting up. So if I'd see magic in a tent, cool. But if I saw magic like in the shape of a person by a tree watching us, they'd be like, "Whoa, that's weird. What's that?" But that's kind of what I'm doing.
So your Arcana check is just you being a wizard, just a general sixth sense for magic that you sometimes get. I'm gonna kind of start off with Alu and Jay for a second. So Abi and Pine are able to see a fog rolling in, but the fog's not forming like a natural fog
Good.
typically would. You can see that it's moving south, rolling from the northern mountain range that you can see off in the distance. When you kind of get a clearing through the trees here. It's unnaturally moving forward. Triniac, you would just with your detect magic ritual going, you would get basically everything from that fog wall glowing. Is it detect that gives you the school of magic, or is it identify?
I think that's identify. Detect, I think, just
Identify.
basically shows me, yep, that's magic, or nope, that's
Okay.
not magic.
So with a nat 20 on the Arcana roll, I will tell you that it is simply illusory magic. That seems to be moving in. Now, you guys are saying this because of really high perception rolls. It's a good ways off, but we haven't gotten dark yet. As I said, this setting up tents and all of this for such a large convoy, this takes hours. So typically, you guys travel for maybe 8 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the time you pack up in the morning, get moving, you only move during daylight. There are orders that have to go to a lot of people before things start, and then the horns begin to blow for you guys to move, and that has to relay between all of the different troops going. So it's not quite nighttime yet.
Okay.
But this fog will probably reach within the next hour or so.
Player question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Alaric and Aliana our points of contact if we need anything or have questions, or if we had an issue to report, would we go to the people that we're protecting, or is there someone else that we would link up with?
No. So let me bring over this image once more. Give me 1 second. It's on what? GM layer? God dog. Let me just bring it over here. On our paper from earlier, it actually has your commander. Let's go to campaign images. Order of Xeralian Convoy. Gonna upload. It may just pop up immediately. I'm not sure. It's probably will be a map element, but let's see. Let's just force that back up.
Kanjar Oregon? What's that name?
Kangor Orabin.
Kangor Orabin.
Xeralian Convoy.
That's a very powerful name.
I like it.
Kangor. So yeah, that he is your point of contact in case something were to go wrong.
All right. Nice. Do we have eyes on him at this point in time, or no?
No, but you do know he is typically in the first cart of your section of caravan. So you are caravan 2. He would be in the first carts. You're cart 85 in that caravan. So I mean he's a good distance up from you. But being everything stopped, he wouldn't really be hard to find.
Okay. I'll turn to
Pine.
Pine. Yeah, Pine.
Like the tree.
Pine. Do you see that up ahead?
Smells strange.
Smells like magic. Not normal. It's coming quick. It'll be here within the hour. I think we should let people know. Is that
Yeah, that's
normal in
fine,
this
Jay.
land? I didn't have any magic clouds in Eldim.
It's a type of natural magic, but I can't bite fog. We should get the others.
Why don't we find our friend, the funny one, Abi?
Oh, love him.
It might be a breach of protocol, but might do us good to give our benefactors, Ilaric and Ileana, a heads up about this fog before we should report it to Kengor.
Some agreement. Very well.
So I'd say with that, I'm gonna take a turn for the big tent and try to intercept Abi on the way if I see where Abi's at.
I bet he's glowing again.
Abby is praying somewhere, so
Probably sitting directly in one of these two fires.
okay.
He's warm-blooded or
Dude, I'm gonna
cold-blooded.
give you 3 taps on the shoulder. Like, I'm not gonna interrupt you, but just 3 light taps. I'll see if you pick it up.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
That was 3
Well-
taps for might be danger ahead, but you can keep praying. People haven't started screaming yet.
Oh, okay.
Gonna give him like
what's
3
the
more
danger?
taps.
So by this time you see,
Dreadful.
because each one of these carts does have a guild assigned to it, right? Actually,
Mhm.
2 guilds assigned, one left side and one right. Unfortunately, your right side guard for this caravan is a bunch of nitwits in a guild called the Red Roosters.
Always is.
Um, a bit inadequate at their job, but you can tell they're just kind of along for the money. Easy gold, walk with this giant group of people and collect gold at the end of it, right? But you can see that some of the people from the guilds are looking towards the fog. Nobody's panicked. They do see it rolling in, but to them it's just, fog. You can overhear people from this tent here saying, hey, it looks a little strange, but is what it is.
Should I send a message to the high command? Or no, we're not going to do that one.
How would you send this message?
My sending spell.
Who's high command? Kengor?
I'm not certain actually. That's a good question.
I mean,
Who
if
have we
you
been
want to
taking
send
orders
something,
from? If anyone.
Kengor, I think.
Oh, Kingar?
We might want to
Okay,
go tell
well,
him in person.
I mean, is he close?
I'm sure he sees it, but if no
He's
one
not
else saw it-
close. He would be, I would guess it's probably about a half a mile hike to where he is. Now, Pine could probably shift into something that could sprint there a bit faster, or a sending spell would definitely let him know something. But
Abi, do you think
what
we
direction
keep
can
in
is the
mind
fog
step
that
coming
back?
from?
just something to keep in mind is that you guys aren't technically responsible for nighttime security. I understand the feeling of responsibility, taking your job seriously.
But on the books, it wouldn't be our fault.
Right.
I'd like to live. Abi, maybe it would be good to ask whoever's in charge if we should be worried. That might suffice for now. True,
Works for me.
night guard isn't our job, but I like to be alive.
I like the living thing too. It's pretty great. I'm just pile of rocks, looking
Pine?
pretty hot over here.
Rocks
they
likes
should get
being
up.
rocks. Would you like to continue to eat more things in the near future?
Oh yes, very much so. I'll get right on that message. Uh, how many letters is it? You send a short 25 words.
Ooh,
What
that's
type of
solid.
message do you think we should send, Abby? Do you use this
Mm.
spell often?
Well, we should probably I could let him know because he can respond. So I got 25 words, so I could say, "Hey, Gregor, I'm the Elementalist." 5. Um, there is some really spooky fog rolling in. Should we be worried and stand on guard, or should we ignore? That's 25 words. Would that work?
That'll work.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Cool.
phenomenal.
Send
Then
it.
I'll send that exact message.
All right. So you send off a sending spell to Kangor. It takes a few seconds,
Who
and
the
then you
fuck
hear
is
in your
calling
mind,
me? No.
do. If you'd like to make a call,
Ow!
Yeah, we'll try. Damn.
Where do I put the
Busy
quarters
time.
in this thing? And I'm like looking around, Abby.
The one thing I will say, because flavor, when I did actually send the spell, my fingers right here, because I'm stone, I like this. Instead of pulling out a copper wire, I just pulled my fingers apart, and there was a copper, like a thin string
That's
of
cool.
copper that appeared between my two fingers.
Okay.
Very stylish, sir. Very stylish.
So after sending off this message, a few seconds go by of silence, kind of waiting on the response. And then you hear back in your mind from a familiar voice of Kangor. We will have the forces watching it. Listen for horns.
Oh, he said just to
And-
listen for horns. They got people watching it.
Don't like it.
Oh, I don't either. So, I'm probably going to stay up a little bit later than normal so that we can make sure that we keep, all those things safe and all.
But what
There-
about your bedtime? You get
Oh, well.
grumbly when you stay up late.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's true.
rumbly.
But, I mean, maybe they just want to talk. Maybe we can kind of settle this peacefully. And stop the invasion of the fog. Ha ha ha.
Makes me think about when we all first met in the arena.
Oh, that
Oh,
was a
yeah.
good night.
That was a good time.
When the guard came. And
Which
it took,
one?
what, 20 guards to get Abby to fight?
Oh,
But once
maybe
he
they
did.
just.
24.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we were amicable and peaceful, and they clearly
weren't.
weren't. So then I brought the hammer out.
Everyone got real sleepy. Why don't we talk to our wards is not the right word, but our charges? Make sure they know there's fog. They might appreciate the warning. They might say, go away, riffraff. I might feel a little better if we at least give them a heads up. At least then, if things get bad, my conscience will be clear.
Be gone with ye, riffraff.
Yeah, that works for me. And if we need to do the little sneaky sneak away, then I can make it so I'll just sneak away real quick.
There are 5,000 troops in this convoy. More troops than I think people that live in the island I'm from. I have never
That
been
would be
around
correct.
this many people. There are a lot of people here.
Yeah, well, I can make us kind of meld into the stone and all. So something I kind of figured out how to do recently.
Ever hear of a rope trick?
Oh, that's a good one. I've heard of
Rope
that spell.
comes
It's really
down, up. Nobody
go up.
knows. Pine, you like ropes?
So let me ask a housekeeping question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over over your travels, how well would you have tried to get to know the people that you're guarding?
Oh, I would talk to them nonstop.
Okay.
Probably to an annoyance level.
So I will say that Alaric is a fairly talkative older gentleman. In fact, let me pop up for reference. This does work with this, right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, look at this guy.
An older gentleman. He is quite talkative. He's kind of one of those people that are so smart he kind of sounds stupid at times.
Nice.
Because he has a habit of speaking over your head in a lot of magic terms. I think that Triniac being a wizard and more of a learned magi would probably be able to keep pace somewhat. But he definitely loses you because he begins speaking of the weave of magic and micro strands and really breaking it down scientifically, which is probably further than you've ever really studied into it.
I'm thinking, me personally, I would probably not want to talk to him a lot because I'm pretty competitive with this character, and I probably wouldn't always like being just ousted in magical knowledge. So I'd like low-key, like, not always engage him, except for when he, like, brings me in on a tirade.
Nice.
Now, Aliana, on the other hand, who I will pop up, she is a much more conserved person, doesn't really speak much. If a question is asked, she answers very vaguely and very shortly. She's not much for conversation, even between her and Alaric. So she's a lot more, to herself
Okay.
than he would be.
Are they, like, a couple, or are they just individual travelers?
Oh, no. Yeah. So if you would have asked this question in travel,
yeah.
Alaric would have let you know that he is actually the rank of Archmagi, which in this world setting, anyone who can cast at 7th level and higher is considered an Archmage or Archmagi. But he is a researcher for the College of Oxmera. And Aliana, he simply introduces her as a esteemed colleague and an expert in enchantment and divination.
Ooh.
Upon him saying this, she just kind of nods her head in affirmation, and doesn't really add much to that.
Interesting. He's
I'm actually gonna
old-winded.
add
Perhaps
gonna
we
add
should talk to the
something
wizard.
to your detect magic earlier, two hands, but I'm gonna send it in a DM real quick.
Cool.
Ooh,
What do you
spiky.
say we talk to the long-winded one and the not so long-winded one? The humans might have some information about what we're seeing. I don't want to get drawn into a long conversation with the Archmagi, but they may know things. I know Abby's very fond of the pair. Always likes talking to them.
Hey, they know
Always
those
likes
things.
talking.
I like being the smartest person in the room. I am never the smartest person in the room when I am with Alaric.
But half of the words they say are made up.
I can't prove that wrong. I think we generally just don't understand.
Okay.
Well, I can understand why you don't like them.
It's not him. It's me. I have an issue with winning and losing. We've gone over this once or twice, but
All I do is win, no matter what.
But never stop.
intellectual games are just as tense as the real ones. And like you see like my muscles are just like flexing. Like I'm not breathing, so my veins are starting to just
Yeah, you're-
bulge.
Incredible.
I just see the like Vegeta at the very beginning of the Dragon Ball saga. Like every time Goku would do something, and he's like, Kakarot.
Exactly.
Incredible.
Like talking
Good
through
lord.
gritted teeth. Beans, let's talk to our friends.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can help with that.
You're praying. Do you need a moment?
No, we're good, I just, I'm just finishing up, so I'm
How are
all
the
heated
gods
up, ready
today?
for battle.
Ready
Yeah.
for battle. That's good. Might be ready to run too. If
Oh, I'm not
5,000
very
people
good at that.
cannot handle what's going on, what are another 3?
I'm very heavy, and I kind of sink like a rock in most running situations, but I will do my best.
No! I say with that, we head towards the tent.
He goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Jay, check Discord.
Okay.
Dude, I can't wait to talk to this old geezer and this tight-lipped person.
So
Ooh.
the tent's not very far off from where you guys currently are. How are you going about it? Just walking in, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
I'm
want to
gonna
go
hit
to
him
the
with
front. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna hit him with a knock knock as we're about to walk in.
That's great. Do it.
Knock knock.
yes, come in.
Oh, hello, Alaric. Nice to see you again. It's it's us, the Elementalists. Always
Yes,
here to keep things interesting.
yes, I'm very aware of your presence now. Can we help you? And you see, as you walked in, he still has his tunic kind of pulled up over his head, and he's trying to like get it back down, but it's kind of like stuck on the crown of his head as he's pulling it.
Oh, let me help you with that. I'm just gonna walk
No,
over and just kind of.
I can do it. Darn you!
I'm ignoring his request. I'm literally just gonna help. Like, oh,
Oh, come here, little fella.
you're just a little guy. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this. Abby is, where is it? Like 6'6".
Yeah, he's the goodest.
He
boy.
tall.
So he plays in the Zerogin basketball league. Got you.
Yes.
Led-
Yeah,
So
you got
after
that?
pulling his tunic down, Alarical, thank you, young man. I
Yeah.
guess. What's with the botherings?
Well, first off, don't mean to be rude. Don't want to correct. Young rock is what I prefer.
Young rock.
But yeah.
Why how the times have changed.
Trianic just wanted to bring something to your attention, so figured that we would let you know ahead of time.
Where is he?
I'm just gonna
he's
poke
just
my
right up
head
here.
in, like, kind of like.
You can enter. Your friend already has.
It's not a matter of ability, but will. Anyways, I.
His eyebrows just shift in a way that screams perplexed at that
Yeah.
statement. But
What a
Got him with the
legend.
quick zingers. I thought it would behoove you to know, and I'm sure you already know, so really this is just obligatory, that there is a large wall of fog, possibly illusory in nature, of magic, headed for the convoy, and the guards are watching it, and if the situation changes, we may be alerted. But I'm curious what your take on it is, Archmage, and yours as well, Aliana, esteemed colleague.
You see Alaric's face gets extremely excited at this news.
Oh no.
An illusion, you say?
What have I done?
I can't wait to see this. And he begins making his way back out. He grabs a belt off of his makeshift bed and begins to wrap it around his tunic so the bottom doesn't spread. He looks towards Aliana, and you can see just kind of a look of disinterest upon her. And her eyes do kind of turn and lock to yours, Triniac, as you kind of poke your head back out.
She's not off the hook. You have always been tight-lipped with information. What do you know of illusory magic?
Not much.
Squint. Can I roll an insight?
You're asking Aliana, or
yeah, Aliana. Yeah.
Yeah. She just responds with not much.
Hmm.
You can roll insight, sure.
I got a 10. Not getting much on that.
Yeah, I mean, sounds legit.
Okay. Well, shrug. Okay.
Alaric, however, marches outside. And you see in his old age, he doesn't have the senses he maybe once had as he tries looking through the trees. I don't see this fog wall. Where is it that you speak? There's no fog around here.
Oh.
Let me carry you there, old man. It's coming this way, and we're wasting too much time.
Tell me he's looking the wrong way.
As of this time, the fog is probably, I would say, a half a mile out, but at its unusual speed, that's probably 30 minutes or so before it would get to you, just kind of judging by how far it was before till now. So what were you trying to do, Alu? I'm sorry.
Just get him to a rise or a place where he'd be able to better see the fog wall. Like, basically just, like, piggyback this old man over. Like, come on, old man. Let's go show you the thing you're excited about.
So you can travel that you would have known when you were in Wolf Farm, kind of scouting around, checking out the perimeter. You did notice the one thicket where you stopped and really saw the fog. Kind of an opening in the trees wide enough where you can see pretty well over the treetops. You can see the mountain peaks off in the distance to the north. And that's where you saw the fog in. So you kind of run through and scoop this guy up and just like baby cradle him running through the woods like Tarzan. And just kind of putting him down in this thicket. Is anyone following as they do such?
I think we should all probably just keep up with this.
Hopefully.
Pine.
Okay.
Yeah. What are the forest animals doing?
Why do you care? No.
If mean for the fog? Something we might want to care.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good point. Are there birds like, oh fuck, like like pluck the birds getting out, like deer jumping through our encampment to get away? Like,
so roll me a nature check.
He's right,
Like, yeah, Pine's good with this stuff.
We're running out. What's funny is I'm actually terrible with nature.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, 6. I'm like the most counterintuitive druid.
That reminds me of the time I played a ranger with like no survival. And everybody's like, bro, you're a ranger, what? I'm like, yeah, but not that kind.
Yeah, you're like I'm mostly
ranger.
Yeah.
Shit, that's amazing.
So you notice wildlife just going along as usual.
Nice.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary. This area in particular you've disturbed quite a bit. As the caravan going through parted a lot of the wildlife out of this area. You running around in Wolf Farm, which wolves are not native to this particular forest, so you would have probably scared a lot of like the deer and stuff like that, definitely out of this area. But with little birds and whatnot kind of remain fluttering around, they don't seem anything out of the ordinary. But so all of you guys are following through. All of you guys are following Pine through to that clearing, or
I sure hope so.
Okay. So you kind of baby cradle the guy back to his feet, and he's like very shuffled and trying to fix his tunic and whatnot.
Now.
And he looks at you and gives you a very sarcastic thank you, I guess. And he kind of turns his eyes forward, and the fog wall is very obvious as it's enveloped trees that you can see within line of sight through, throughout the forest. And he very peculiar. Well, stand back, chaps.
Ooh,
And-
3 steps back.
Begins rubbing his hands together, and he begins to cast. So let's see whose spell list this is actually on.
Should I fetch your assistant, your esteemed colleague? Should they be here to take notes?
Would it keep you in check?
Cleric, druid, and wizard all have. So all 3 of you can actually give me an Arcana check if you want to try to see by the words that he is speaking what he is trying to cast here.
Sure, that sounds kind of
Can I
fun.
like talk to text in my wizard book right now, asking for a friend?
So oddly enough, at this Magi's level,
20.
he's probably able to shorthand a lot of his verbal components.
Oh, you stinker. I love it.
So Triniac and Abby would be able to, like, right off the bat tell that this is dispel magic that he is casting.
Ooh.
But Triniac, you're able to tell that he's actually casting it twice in one casting.
He's
Think
twirling
like
it.
twin spell that a sorcerer
Nice.
would do in one casting. And you see upon completion of this cast that some of the fog seems to dissipate in the closest to you portion of it, but is quickly filled in by the fogs behind it and keeps rolling back towards.
Persistent.
There's about a few seconds of silence after he casts where he's observing this, because it does take some time for the fog to refill in that space. And he goes, interesting. Well, I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Huh.
Mr. Alaric, I don't mean to critique or anything, but that's very alarming. What do you mean by that?
Well, all I know is that the fog carries with it some sort of illusory magic. It could just be an illusory fog. Perhaps it's not even real fog. No harm comes from fake fog, does it?
Oh, yeah, normally, no. But when things are in it, that's kind of spooky.
Perhaps it smells of elderberries. That's the illusion. Olfactory.
Couldn't have said it any better
I
myself.
think you might smell elderberries.
No.
Perhaps you will gain vision of your mother and father.
Yeah, maybe find out yours was a hamster.
Magic is not inherently bad or evil. We should not judge the magic just by its mere presence.
I'm not judging
don't know what it
magic, I'm
does.
judging the things inside of it.
As your
Well,
guard,
you won't. Mhm.
I would like to make sure that we have our bases covered. Is there anything that might go missing that belongs to you in this fog that you should secure, Alaric?
I don't have anything of my belongings in this dimension.
That's probably good.
Mm-hmm. A real magi should never carry their things in the same dimension they walk in.
Totally. I obviously knew that too.
I feel like this conversation is getting away from us. I'm going to go grab the other one.
Who's the other one?
I believe there was one other companion. I can't remember her name.
Aliana.
Oh, Aliana?
Yeah, she doesn't know much about this, but she might offer some other insights here.
It's a good
Okay,
call,
so
Pine.
you're running back to the tent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
just-
I mean, you're able to find your way back, no problem.
So just popping through this tent.
You enter the tent, and she is just laying down in the makeshift cot.
Just hating life.
She's wide awake. She doesn't look like grumpy ever. I mean,
Okay.
she's just very like disinterested, but
Chill. The fog seems to have enamored your staying companion. Would you like to offer your insights?
let me guess, he tried to dispel it.
Ah, that's not my expertise.
Hmm.
But the fog
I-
is still there and it's still coming.
I do not deal in illusory magics.
Hmm. But you do deal in magic, do you not?
Enchantment and divination, as Alarica said.
Hmm. So you might not know about the inner castings, but you know about people who cast magic. You've been around them. Yes.
I've been around people, yes. Those people cast magic, yes. It's not the people that cast this magic, probably.
Hmm.
Let
They
me
said-
ask you something, young druid. Is your plan here to coerce me to go into the forest and stare at a magical wall of fog and do nothing, as I would have nothing I could do, and then return here back to my bed and fall asleep? That sounds like a lot of trouble to accomplish nothing.
Hmm.
I would have to get up and walk, and then walk back.
I appreciate your honesty.
And there's so much talking involved.
Let me be short then. You're less useful here than I was expecting. And I'll just turn and go.
Hell yeah.
Like,
She doesn't even answer the remark. She goes,
you like actually, yeah, you've got a point. Like, it's good you know your area of expertise. Goodbye. You've called the wrong department, ma'am.
yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, don't come
Oh.
screaming for us when the demons start crawling out of the
So,
fog,
yeah,
alright?
Before I do go and leave you to your rest, listen for horns.
Horns. Okay. Ooh, I heard that wrong. Okay.
They're out there, but
She,
we're actually looking
can
for
always
quite a few. Let me know. You see?
she just gives you a nod. No audible
Yep.
acknowledgement, but
Cool.
gives you a nod.
Good enough for me. Yep. I sprint on back.
Okay.
Incredible.
Where's our horses at, by the way? Just be good to know where they are.
So
I
the
said I was
horses
sprinting
are
back.
unhitched from all of the wagons and just kind of tied up to trees where feed has been put out in front of them. They can kind of just get the weight of the wagons off of them for a while and let them rest. There's a decent lead of probably 8 to 10 feet on these horses where they can kind of move around, but not really go anywhere. But they're just spread out on the main trail, just hitched to trees on the side of the trail.
Do they have saddles on them, or no? Are they just pull
No.
horses?
Yeah, they're all just pull horses.
Are there any? I'd
There's
like to look for some saddles, just in case I find any that I know are in a wagon around here. Just do a little casual snoop. Might even be a stealth roll, I don't know, or a sleight of hand, deception. I don't want to be obvious, but
you could. So let me ask you this: what are you doing to try to accomplish this? Like, how far are you willing to go to try to accomplish this?
I'm willing to act like I'm sorting through supplies, like that level of investigation to look for some things that I'm hoping to find in case we need them.
Okay,
Things
and
I'm
you're
looking
doing
for.
this, and you're doing this in a wagon that is not the one that Alaric and Aliana were in.
I hope so. That would be really
Maybe.
funny, though.
Yeah, I might just
Well,
sit whatever
so the
one
reason I'm
might look
asking
most
is
promising.
you would know that that's a no-no. You can still do
Oh.
so. You would need a stealth roll to, not be caught because most of the guilds are still watching the wagons. They're outside sitting by fires. They're not vigilantly watching. But would probably notice somebody just walk past them to get to the cart that they're in charge of. As
And
a general,
okay.
as just general knowledge, the only horses that you've seen that are saddled is the ration horse. Is one person on a saddled horse that is pulling a very small little two-wheeled cart behind them with rations that are just wrapped in what looks like banana leaves. And some of the guards that periodically run up and down the caravans just to make sure that like nothing's happening. These are the guards that carry horns. That's the only saddled horses you've seen. That's not to say that there aren't saddles. You could definitely look. But just know it would be a little risky.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll just look in our cart then, now that I know that as a player. Just
Okay.
in case I find anything that I could like think of a bug out bag in case things get bad. That's really what I'm hoping to find is bug out bag, supplies, anything if we need to cut and run that could help us in that endeavor.
Nice.
Okay. So as you poke your head in the cart that you guys have been guarding, because you have not seen inside of here as of yet, right?
Correct.
You poke your head in, and it is a stage coach, basically. 2 bench seats, one to the front, one to the rear, with just open space between. Both of the seats double as trunks. So the top of the seat itself hinges upward to reveal a compartment underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Sweet. 20, dirty.
Awesome. So as you check in this, whose side are you checking first?
The rooster side. Gonna get the no-no side checked first before things
Oh, no. It's front and back. Like the roosters are guarding the right side of the cart and whatnot, but like the seats in it are front and back. I'm just asking, like, which seat are you checking, the frontward or the backward seat?
Whatever one's harder to get to.
Okay. So it's just a longer distance from the actual slit in the canvas to the forward seat. So you go there, you hinge it up, and it's completely empty.
Okay.
Like nobody has stored anything in that compartment.
Interesting. Check the second one.
The back seat, there is a backpack. There is a staff of very intricate carving. You grew up in Aldheim. Give me we'll do nature. Give me a nature check.
8. Not feeling it.
Okay. It just looks like a tree branch, but it's a very pretty tree branch.
Oh, I feel like the local druid is going to help me figure this out. So I have a question.
So he wouldn't know. Sure, go ahead.
Am I under the presumption that this is Alaric's cart that we're guarding?
Oh, you know it is.
Is this our bench or Red Rooster's bench? Would I know that?
Nobody's been in the cart. The cart transports Alaric and Aliana, so they're not walking. You guys are walking alongside the left side of this cart as it travels. The Red Roosters are walking alongside the right side of this cart as it travels.
Okay, cool.
This caravan is not really moving any faster than walking speed because of the amount of people in it. This is more just bougie accommodation for these two.
Nice, so this is their car.
Yeah, this is just it's just their transportation. So the general feel that you would get is that Aliana would have been sitting to the front side of the cart as it moved. Alaric would have been sitting towards the back side of the cart as it moved. And you're probably looking under his seat right now, which hers was completely empty.
I'm going to take this stuff then, and I have a good reason if anyone asks me.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab the stuff and see. Hope I don't die, but
you don't die. Nobody's going to ask you anything, providing you entered from the side of the cart that your encampment is on, as the Red Roosters are camped over here. I don't know if you can see my pings. 1 second. Sorry. Red Roosters are camped over here, so they wouldn't be able to see you going into the cart. I mean, you can pull the stuff out, sure.
So I'll do that. I'll put the backpack over my shoulder and I have the staff, and I'm just acting like I own the place. Like I'm not trying to like thieve, but like I'm holding on to this stuff with the intent of talking to the rest of the party. So I'll loop up with Pine and Abby. So I want to talk about something. Do you see these things? And I'm gonna be like talking in like a low, hushed voice. They were in the seat that our esteemed Alark sits atop. Do you remember what Alark said to us about his belongings and the realm that they exist on?
I do.
That is their
Um,
cart, and if that is his
okay.
seat, I imagine these things are belonging to him. However, what he says makes me think that they are not, which means this is an unknown. They could belong to somebody else, perhaps Aliana, and if she does not have all of her belongings, then I don't know who these belong to, and we might need to find an owner. I probably shouldn't be in this cart, but again, I said, when the fog rolls in, is there anything that you wouldn't want to be possibly taken? In the name of that logic, I feel like I'm guarding these items. Perhaps we should check and see if these are Aliana's, to make sure that they are safe, because it would be extra work for her to get up and to check on them personally, or to protect them.
Oh,
Just shrug.
but she's to be sleeping now. Perhaps we should wait till she awakes.
We will keep them under our close guard until then.
You're good at rationalizing.
I can't protect what I can't watch. I have
Incredible.
a feeling we won't be able to watch much very soon.
11 out of 7. We're not stealing it, old man. It's just insurance, just safety. You're
GM,
supposed to watch.
I'd
Mhm.
like to cast Identify on the staff.
Okay.
Cast it, not ritual. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna see what this
One
does.
second, because there may be a technicality here.
Okay,
Uh,
it's cool if it doesn't work, or if I don't get everything. Just that's what I
oh no,
rolled
no,
last
no!
time.
It definitely works. I'm just not sure if it tells you this. I mean, you would conclude it either way, but you see how this would play through. Okay. 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 All right. So here's kind of the way you would go about learning this. As you cast Identify, which is if it is cast on a magic magic item,
Mhm.
or some other magic imbued item, you learn its properties and how to use them. When you cast it, you feel nothing magical about this stick. It's very ornate. It's very beautiful, but there's nothing magic about it.
Oh, well, it could be a focus. Maybe it's not magical itself, but it is something that channels magic pretty hard.
Very possible. Either that or the magic, if any, is beyond me. Interesting.
Not
It could just be a nice staff. What do you think, Pine? You're good with these things. You're good.
sticks.
Pine, you can, because you grew up in a forest, give me a nature check.
Ooh. All right. It's gonna be a 13 this
That's
time.
better.
I'm getting there, baby.
Pine, you have seen a lot of trees, including pine trees and oak trees.
Yeah, that checks out. Name
You
checks
have
out.
you have never seen this wood before.
You know what? I'm going to actually convey exactly that. I've seen a lot of trees in my time. I've never
Pine
seen
tree.
that before. Pine trees, cedar trees, acacia trees.
I've smoked
No,
a
like
lot of tree, and let me tell you,
that brand's new.
it's
That's not on
sticky.
the market.
Interesting.
That's what you get.
And Abby, What do you make of
Yeah.
this staff?
I don't know. I'm not really good with trees, but I'd like to look at it. Maybe I could make a handle out of it for a pretty good looking stick spear. Sharpen it up a little bit.
Maybe not yet.
So
Not ours yet. Not sure whose it
let's
is. So go ahead, Miller.
see I'm thinking to myself what this would be for Abi, because he could kind of point something out about this. I'm just not sure what to use. I guess investigation would be kind of the closest I'm trying to do here. But I would say either investigation or insight, one or the other.
Okay. Insight 23.
Okay. As you look over this, so are you like holding it or just looking at it?
Oh, I'm gonna take it from his hands and just like feel it like I would try to feel any kind of like rare material. So essentially, like I'm holding a grade 10 Pokemon card, where I'm like, oh,
Sorry.
this
Okay,
thing is
so
weird.
the first thing you would notice about it is with the weight distribution on the weapon, it feels to be a quarterstaff. The top is slightly heavier than the bottom, but it does have a good balance point. You know that this is expert craftsmanship.
Oh, this is really nice.
The way they've carved like artificial vines and whatnot up the grain, pulling out like small strands of wood at a time to make the most subtle of designs and whatnot. And this is also an extremely rare wood because you've never seen it. Pine has never seen it.
Pine's never
You
seen
don't
this.
know what it is. But it is pretty rare. And you kind of just get a feeling of admiration for whoever made this. Like, this is amazing. You know, this is a very beautiful piece of art.
This is okay. I could do better.
What a
You don't even
legend.
need to roll insight. I am lying through my teeth.
Dude, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's alright, I guess.
I mean, it's very. I mean, they literally like pulled like little strands of wood, just like you know when you get like a piece of skin hanging off your nail and you just kind of pull it and it goes up your finger.
Do you have nails?
It's more like a bunch of pebbles that kind of fall off and such.
Don't want to be thinking about this right now.
Um,
What about
sorry?
you, Pine? Bark? Do you shed? What are you, Bark? Pine.
What are you, Bark? I am. What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
I don't know. We've never really quite seen your face, so kind of keep your wood face on all the time.
The bark is a Freudian slip.
It is, the mark. The mark is what I am. I am a pale blade, one of the last of my clan. I wear many faces, even without the mask. The mask makes it easier for some people. You don't ask me when I'm a wolf, when I'm an
Well, yeah,
XP.
because you're a wolf when you're a wolf. I don't really think I've ever met anyone like you.
Well, right now, I'm a half-elf.
Okay.
Tomorrow,
That
I
makes-
might be a gnome. There was a dwarf once. I might be a dwarf the following day.
I just picture Pine staying the exact same height. He just has the face the size of a gnome.
Yes!
Dude.
I'm sorry. That's horrible. That's terribly
I
horrifying.
want to see
And
like
I can't
N64
not do that
graphics
now.
of just a face like wrapped around your head.
Trapped!
No.
Ooh. Pine, have you tried eating bath salts? They're delicious.
Oh god.
Oh, it's awful. And I love
So what are you
Something-
doing with the stuff that you found in the cart?
I think we should just make sure that it belongs to Oleana. Because it clearly doesn't belong to Alaric. based on what he's told us. What do you
Of course,
guys
this
think
man-
about that?
He'd never leave his possessions.
So how do
and-
you make sure it belongs to Aliana?
Good question.
Are you looking through it, or are you just gonna go ask her if it's
Um,
hers, or like
I'm just
how
gonna
is
go ask
that?
her if this is hers. I say this was
I mean, I can
found.
keep it safe also when I go to bed tonight. Something you guys would know when I go to bed is I ritual cast meld into stone. So me and all of my possessions literally become part of the earth.
Look at me. I am the earth now. Nice.
I'll go up to Aliana in the tent. I won't bring the items.
Okay. So as you walk in the tent,
A knock
Um,
first.
oh, you do.
Some kind of knock.
Okay.
I don't know.
You'll hear a Lark's voice. 1 minute. God damn it. And you hear the shuffling, like he had just kind of gotten his clothes off to lay down, and now you got to throw clothes back on.
Is he
bet
like?
you did.
Is he playing the pipe like a legend?
No,
Oh.
they are sleeping on opposite sides of this
Oh
room.
man!
but-
And I was gonna give this guy mad props.
God damn
Um,
it!
We have
Yo,
to
I-
save this man.
But he comes up and kind of parts the split in the tent. What do you need now?
Nothing of urgency. A backpack and a rare wooden walking stick quarterstaff were found, and I wanted to ensure that it did not belong to your colleague.
No, that's mine.
I thought you keep all of your possessions not on this realm.
I don't.
I am confused.
There's nothing of value in there. Well, the stick a little bit, but the backpack is just full of rations. Snacks.
I am not security, but I
I
want
needs
to
to know what kind of snacks this guy has.
what we need to protect and what we don't.
I mean, if it goes missing, it's not the end of the world. I'll be kind of pissed.
And
It was
if you're
my friend that
striking
made
the
it for
wilderness,
me.
what do you plan to eat?
I have more food than that. That was just the snacks, like the munchy snacks, you know.
This is him
He is
forgetting
a
that
wise
different
man.
different realms exist and that magic's gives access to those. I'm like, fine, thank you. They're yours. I feel better now. I'm going to put them back in the wagon.
1 second. And he turns around and he goes and he pulls up. So typically when you see a lark, for the little while that you guys do see them, as typically they'll get out the cart, stretch their legs a bit, sit by a fire for a little while, warm up, but they don't stay outside very long. They don't typically talk to each other too much. When they do, it's more intellectual chatter, not like gossip, weather, and war kind of thing. More business. But he's typically wearing a fairly nice emblazoned robe, but also a coat that goes over it. You see that robe is currently on him, but the coat is flung over the bed. And he goes and opens the coat up. And on the inside of the coat is a portable hole. And you see him open through it, reach inside, and he gets like the whole top half of his body in here and pulls out something wrapped in a banana leaf and walks over to you and hands it to you. This is yours if you don't come back in here tonight.
Deal.
What is
Can I have
Pine
the
reaches for it.
Can I
What's
have
that?
that stick? It looks really nice.
It is very nice. That's why I don't want you to have it.
I'll give you
Can
10
I
gold.
have your stick? Said his friend made it for him like 15
gold.
seconds ago.
It's by my late friend. He's died. He can't craft me another one.
Well, I'm trying to be the world's greatest craftsman, so I could, like study it and then remake it for you at a later date when I get better at it.
I'll make a deal with you.
Okay.
If you give me 3 days of silence,
Yeah.
I will let you study the stick. Not
For
have
those
it,
3 days.
but study it.
The exchange can start after this conversation. with the
Yeah,
item
that
being
works for
given
me.
to us and our silence being given to you at the conclusion.
Well, it's
I
it's
can-
really just his. He's like the whole touching me thing. I don't like being touched.
Well, that hole must have been the magic that I saw when I was detecting magic earlier. Your body was glowing quite brightly.
Mm-mm. Read that
Perhaps
again.
not you.
Oh. Got that magic
Yeah,
swag.
you might want to read that again.
Yeah, well, I said something incorrect on purpose
Oh, okay.
to see how they would react to that.
Nice.
Oh, he just kind of side eyes you. I don't believe so. I mean, you maybe have seen the hole, but the hole stays with me. Don't touch my hole.
I'm gonna incite this guy. 18.
He seems to be legit. I mean,
Okay. Just setting
Tell me.
boundaries here.
you can tell he's dead serious. Don't touch
He
his
said
hole.
he doesn't like being touched. All right. So
Now I'm just more confused. What?
Abby's got the thing he wants to study, right? The staff? Is that what it was?
Yeah, for now. Yeah,
Cool, for
it's
now.
just an ornate quarterstaff.
Cool, man.
I'm gonna make this out of metal. But better.
Sure try.
As agreed, I will not bug you for that snack, and Abby will not touch you for 3 days of no contact, and I guess we'll see each other when we see each other again. I'm sure all will
Well,
be fine.
I'm gonna see you in the morning as we're gonna get in the cart like we do every day and go some more, and we'll definitely be seeing each other. I mean,
Gets
I
a snack
assume
and then
so.
just gone.
Yeah.
Disappears into the woods.
Trinek, will you ask him if we are allowed to talk to him in senses of urgent danger?
I don't think he actually needs us to talk to him in urgent danger. I think
Oh,
I would love to know if I'm in urgent danger. I mean, you guys are my protection, but
what if it's like urgent importance, like your fly's down?
that's not very urgent. That just comes with old age.
depending on the
Understandable.
situation, it certainly could be. I tell
shouldn't
you
have
what,
laughed that hard at that.
if we feel that you or your traveling companion are at risk, we will break our silence. And if we don't, then we won't.
It was more just to let me get a little peace and quiet. I don't mean you can't talk to me, but I'm not being literal.
I'm just gonna do a little bow and just silently let them continue on with their evening and just kind of turn around.
You enjoy that, by the way. That's probably worth a year of your wages. And he's talking about the food he just gave you.
I didn't intend to. Oh, the food he gave me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will certainly appreciate it and enjoy it. Thank you.
All right. So, is there anything else of importance
Abby needs to know what
going
kind
on
of snacks
tonight?
we're having.
So as you open it, it's beef jerky.
Ooh.
So just
And honestly, it looks kind of underwhelming.
it feels
This
we
man
gotta try
must think
this
we're
jerky.
really poor.
Does somebody try it?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's try
in
it
a heartbeat.
together.
It is the best beef jerky you've ever eaten.
Whoa.
It is like A5 Wagyu smoked jerky.
Ooh.
Like, this is like the shit. It didn't
Think it-
look impressive, but holy crap, does it taste good. It's like as you put it in your mouth, it rehydrates and tastes like a nice mid-rare steak. Like, it's
Ooh.
crazy good.
I underestimated him again.
Yeah, we seem to kind of do that.
Actually,
a lot.
so Ali, do you taste it?
Huh? for sure.
Okay. Roll me history. Or
Remember,
nature. I'll give you a
Roll me
choice.
history. This tastes
I'll
like a
just go for the
person I
nature.
ate once.
8.
An 8. Hey, you don't know what the hell this is.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that tastes pretty good.
It tastes familiar, but you can't like pin down what it
Nice.
is. It
You
tastes
mean
like
jerky?
home.
It tastes like home.
It's disturbing. I love it.
These are good snacks. Haven't had snacks this good in a long time.
Well, let's save it for special occasions. How's that?
There's a good bit of it. So like you
Oh,
definitely have a, I'd say probably 3/4 of a pound.
oh
It's
shit.
good bit of jerky.
I just start divvying it up 3 ways. I wish our fourth
Well-
compatriot could be here with us.
That's okay for me. As much as I like meat occasionally, I've been kind of touching back on a strong rock-only diet.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, here you go. And I'm gonna pull out a little glass figurine from some sand I ate this morning that has digested and melted into a small little wolf statue that I'm gonna hand to Pine.
Oh,
Oh,
It's
nice.
cute.
I have heard that some street vendors season rocks with fragrant edible oils and herbs and seasonings, and you slurp them. Do you enjoy those?
Don't think I've ever had one of those. I normally just kind of put my hand in the ground and pick it up
seconds,
because it
guys.
is
Grab a drink.
free.
Perhaps if we find a merchant like that, it is a snack that we could all possibly try together and all have an opportunity to enjoy.
Yeah. I don't recommend you actually swallow your rocks because that could really lead to some tummy aches for you.
I think
Yeah.
the purpose is to.
What's that diet called? Keto, Geo.
Incredible.
so is there anything else you guys are doing tonight of importance?
I think we
No.
just sit here and wait for this fog to come and see what happens.
Yep.
Like
Fog's there.
around the fire, back to back.
You guys have been talking, and it's really subtle. Like once the fog hits, it's not very hazy. Nothing seems to change.
Well, I'm gonna go lay down and go to rest, and yeah. So I'm gonna cast Meld into Stone for 10 minutes, and then literally just sink into the ground. And
We
all
should
that will
stay
be
close
up
to
is
each
like
other.
the face of my face with my eyes
No.
closed and like a slight glowing of it.
Okay.
How do I wake you
Nice.
from this again? Do I just knock on your face? Do I
Or you
talk
can
to
just
you?
kind of knock on my face. That's correct. I can still talk in here. I'm just, my face is just right here.
And you,
All
Pine,
right.
are you going to meld with the tree tonight, or are we just going to have a normal sleep?
I wanted to rest by the fire, but I want to make sure that one's asleep first.
Okay.
Don't, and then like Pine to you, like your hands, to answer your character. Don't tell him.
We all have
And
our
then just
secrets.
it skulks off.
Nice. I'm just gonna sit here and by the fire and just be aware of my surroundings and stay awake.
2 hands.
Okay.
You would recognize that I've been summarily when I think that, which you probably have caught on to this, by the way, Rock Boy. Pine would basically be stealing bits of like scratching bits of rubble off of you, and then just
Oh yeah, no, that's completely fine.
like scrape like taking little pieces, like little chunks of your like shoulders and arms, and then just like going.
I mean, Bobby's just a nice guy, so he's probably just gonna be like, oh, he probably won't say anything, but he knows you're doing it.
Yeah, just super like.
Oh, okay.
Pine's trying to build his own hobby.
Nobody really knows where those rocks go or
Really
what
like
Pine
that
is
pebble.
doing with them. But it's been a lot. It's been a lot of you. Like one of your shoulder pads has gotten noticeably smaller.
All right.
That's incredible.
So Triniac, you said you were staying awake.
Yeah, I'm looking for any weirdness, any changes in the fog. I'm trying to be very perceptive to anything, trying to mimic our surroundings, and yeah,
Okay.
all I can really do.
How long? How long are you staying awake? The entire night?
I might. I guess maybe if nothing starts being spooky after like a couple hours, maybe about 4 hours, maybe then I'll go to bed. But
Okay. So you're Elven, correct? Are you just
yes,
trancing, or like are you
no,
getting your long rest in?
not yet. No.
Okay. All right.
I'm very
Um.
interested in what could be going on with the fog, and so I'd like to be awake and observant. And I doubt I can do that while I'm trancing.
Okay.
Fix that.
So I need a wisdom saving throw
Is it
from
magic?
Pine
Oh,
and from Pine and uh Obsidian.
Oh heck. Can I do?
19.
solid, dude.
That's pretty spicy. Just roll 20's loading. There we go.
Okay.
11.
Did you build in your little
So
rock band? You're busy.
yeah, so Obsidian is just like molded into the earth. He is one with the earth. He is dreaming of the carvings in this quarterstaff flowing through, and his consciousness is just zooming along a giant metal stick, thinking about how he would carve such intricacy into it. And he's really deep into thought in his dreams about this. Pine, you begin drifting off into your sleep. Um, Dreaming whatever it is, little Pine dreams. When suddenly your dream is interrupted as a face forms in front of you. And it is simply that face,
That's
Who
bad.
the
and it just wakes you up.
Ugh.
And that's it.
Gonna go clutch that rock.
So
While I am sleeping, I would also actually like to focus on my symbol a little bit as I'm going to sleep and try
Okay.
to see if I can glean why it was glowing earlier.
I mean, you can give me insight or religion, your choice.
That'll be 17.
Okay. You've never seen it do this before, and you want to investigate. As you start thinking about it, you notice wherever it is now, because I know everything's just kind of absorbed into a thing of rock, but I'm assuming you can still kind of feel everything.
Yeah.
As you're thinking about the symbol, it begins to flicker again. You put into like you begin noticing things about your situation to maybe future study why it is doing this. But you don't have enough information to really even get a good guess right now.
Okay.
But I'll say like the one tidbit you do get is that you've been in this spot when it has done it and have been focusing on the symbol when it has done it. So yeah. So Triniac, what you have noticed in your time of being awake, is people waking up from their slumbers. Not everyone. You've seen like this encampment over here. One of the guys just kind of and kind of looks around, really confused. Just goes back to sleep. You hear people startled because at night in the woods, sounds kind of do really stand out. So you do hear, people popping up and making noises, disgruntled, kind of all around. And then you do see Pine kind of jump out of sleep for a while and then just kind of return to it after a few minutes of kind of getting themselves settled.
Before Pine goes back to bed, I would quickly ask them, Pine, You are not the only one that was waken up suddenly. What happened? What woke you up? Bad dream?
Quite a nasty face. Gritting, white to the bone. Undead likely. Might be more to the fog. But I'm also tired.
So now that you're awake, give me a history check, Pine.
Can do.
We'll see what exactly you're able to remember from your dream state over to your consciousness about the face itself.
Sounds good to me. Do you
He's a
remember?
big scary man.
Come on, roll
He said he was
20.
gonna eat my Cheerios.
Nat 1.
would be-
I remember a dog.
I might. Just you wait. 7.
It
I do
looked
it for
like
you, DM?
it looked like a zombie. You do remember decaying flesh,
Decaying
Um,
flesh. That's what I have.
but that's about it. You remember the jaw was slightly ajar and crooked and whatnot, but you weren't able to make out too many features of it. That's just what immediately stuck out.
Looked hungry, I think. Incredible. Yeah, that's what you get.
Rest well, Pine.
Ugh, immediately back into the sleepies.
All right. Other than that, this night is pretty uneventful. I will let you make note, Cherniak, that you didn't hear any startled sounds coming from the tent because I would assume you were somewhat focused on that.
Yeah, listening.
As you're kind of their protectors, but it doesn't seem that you didn't hear any noise coming from the tent like somebody would have woke up. You did a few times throughout the night hear Alaric snoring extremely loudly.
I like to think that I snore like a garbage disposal.
I'm trying to think how exactly that would sound.
Just put some ice in the garbage disposal, and that's him.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Awful.
Well, if
Awfully
things
so.
seem normal, I'll nod off, I guess, the last couple hours of the night.
All of this probably takes place, I would say. It gets dark probably around 7:30. People start falling asleep typically between 9 and 10 o'clock. All of this has taken place before 2 a.m. So I would say you could probably get your 4 hours in between 2 and 6. You guys are usually on the road for about 8, so you would have time.
Sounds good.
To go ahead and kind of get everything in.
Nice.
So we awaken the next morning, and you awake to the double hits of horns, which signify stopping for sleep and also for people to wake up in the morning to start getting back going. Though you do know from traveling this far, the 2 is kind of a wake up call for everybody, which is relayed through the different troop divisions. Make sure everybody's up and starts packing everything in, and you're waiting for the single horn blow in the vanguard, which signifies to go. But as people start rustling about, waking up, start packing up their tents, Alaric and Aliana walk out of theirs. Both of them look pretty well rested. Alaric walks by and looks towards Abi and says, "See, I told you. You can't just blame the fog for being magical. Nothing happened." And he just continues to walk past, walking towards the cart.
I say nothing because I made a vow.
Dang. Committed.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go. It's just okay.
Clearly, you've never played D&D before.
I'm just gonna silently start getting stuff ready. Just
okay. Aliana walks by as usual, doesn't really say anything.
Just a warmer climate or a cooler climate area?
It is definitely cool. It is not cold though. It is very cool, very humid. But really not cold as you are in the summer seasons.
Okay.
Typically,
Anyone
like
them
you
being
know,
warmed?
this area has harsh winters. But in the summers, it's pretty mild.
Cool.
I'm gonna pull out my mittens. They're very large mittens.
Mittens.
Do you burn the mittens when you put
Gotta
them
get
on?
toasty.
That'd be cool if they're chainmail mittens.
It's a little cursed.
They are wool. I knitted them myself.
It took 4 sheep.
Incredibly reinforced mittens.
All right, so you guys start packing up.
Yeah.
You kind of see while crossing over, because the Red Roosters do come and help you guys pack up a Lark and Aliana's tent, and everything like that. These guys are pretty shaken. Triniac, you did hear 2 of their 4 people wake up in the dead of sleep the night before. And those 2 guys look scared shitless. Like they are visibly shaken. But continue to do their duty.
I'd like to talk to at least one of them.
Okay.
I'll go up to one of them and just say, I was up
Even
last night. when
Even as you
woke."
walk up, he kind of like jolts back for a second until he sees you, and he calms down when he kind of sees that it's you. But like he's very jumpy.
What did
Hello?
you- Hi, you're with the Red Roosters, right?
I am. My name's Saul. Yeah, I'm with them.
Hi, Saul. I'm Triniac. I was awake last night when it seemed something was bothering you and some of your friends.
I had a nightmare.
I think possibly more than a few people had a nightmare. Was it by chance about some undead, maybe a zombie of sorts?
Yeah, that's him. We had the same nightmare.
That's interesting. Do you remember anything else about what you saw, other than that it was probably very scary?
It was very scary. But his face, he was ugly.
Hmm.
Yeah, and my brother Paul saw it too. But what was weird, he didn't have eyes.
Interesting. Was there anything
I
else
don't
you
know
can
how
tell
he
me
could see
about what
me
you
without
saw?
eyes.
Maybe he doesn't.
Instead of eyes, there was these big gems. They were shiny. They were glowy too.
And did you report this vision to your captain or your lead band officer, whoever that person might be?
I reported it to Paul.
And what did Paul say?
Paul said he had the same nightmare.
I'm just gonna give him a pat on the back. Thank you. Thank you.
Told you these
Great,
guys
buddy.
aren't just they aren't the brightest crayons in the box, but I was channeling my
I'm gonna
inner
let them
jerky
do
boy.
that. I really enjoy it. I'm just like, how can I use these guys for cannon fodder? Like,
Love it.
Paul, it's good to know that brave adventurers like you and Saul have our backs. Last night was very scary for a lot of us. I'm glad
Nah,
that we have the Red Roosters on our side, ever the brave.
hell yeah,
At the front lines. Always the first to the kill. Always
that's right.
faster than us.
Yeah, the greatest fighting force in the Central Lands.
I
The
have heard
Red
many
Roosters.
stories. I
Been a
look
long
forward
time
to
since
you
I've heard that
demonstrating
many
that for
lies in
us.
succession.
What's that, Ellie?
What he said? It's been a while since you've heard that many lies in succession.
Yeah.
What if instead of fighting them, we just, made friends and had tea at some point together?
Sometimes
we don't
that's
have
how
to
you
fight
make the best
everyone.
of friends, is by fighting them. Have you ever thought of
Oh,
that, Abby?
no, not really. I'm not,
All
me,
butts in.
I'm not,
Yeah.
not really the biggest fighting type.
Yeah.
Me and Saul fight all the time. That's why we're such great friends.
Paul knows, and Saul knows too.
And you hear Saul say, I'm going to tell Mom if you keep hitting me like that.
Oh, you're like your bank keeper of your guild.
The what?
Your bank keeper, the one that holds your money.
Oh, that's Sean.
Oh,
Oh,
you bring your
God.
money into the field.
We don't have a whole lot. And I
Oh,
can't take something from nothing, can you?
yeah, that's understandable.
But once we make this trip, we'll be rich.
Oh, well, I guess it depends on what your value of rich is. I've been rich since the day I met my brothers in my guild. Rich in friendship.
Fucking weirdos.
Oh, hey, that's what they called me at my my old
But
village.
you see Saul has like a tear in his eye because it's like, oh.
What a legend.
All right, guys. So we get everything packed up. We good to
Yeah.
go.
We'll
get packed
Right
up.
around.
I tell Paul
right
and
around
Saul
8
to
in the
be
morning.
extra vigilant. Just
All right.
don't forget that spooky boy. He might come again for us in person.
It was just a nightmare.
Never forgot.
You don't have to keep bringing it up.
Always remember spooky guy.
You're right. I won't bring it up again, as long as there's no need to. Deal?
Got him.
You guys hear the single blowing the horn, and a few seconds later, you hear it again closer to you guys as it starts relaying its way towards the back. So it finally makes it in front of your caravan. You hear it again behind your caravan, and then way far back. And just as before, it takes forever, right? The first group of troops starts marching. It's not like everything just starts moving immediately. Finally, you guys see a few of the carts start moving in front of you, and you're able to start once more.
Yeah, it's like a traffic jam.
Exactly. So you guys travel today. Not too much happens. Are you guys speaking of anything or anything you guys need to do or say while you travel through this day?
Not particularly. I mean, I'd like to look more into my symbol and look more into my that staff that I was allowed to study.
Nice.
Okay. I keep forgetting this isn't Pathfinder because I'm like, yeah, give me a craftsman check.
So we're gonna do our best to
to
emulate that.
I have craftsman tools. I can just roll you a craftsman tools check.
Sure. This is gaining. So here's kind of mechanically the way I'm going to work this. You have this for 3 days, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you roll me. We're going to actually do this in the evenings, so you have full days of studying.
Okay.
But I'm going to let you roll me at advantage. A craftsman roll each day.
Okay.
And that's going to kind of give your progress each day on how you learn the mechanics of making something like this. But also how well you can translate doing something like this in metal.
Okay.
Because wood and metal are two completely different substances and take different skill sets to emulate this design in. So we'll get to that on the evening
Cool.
with that roll. As far as the symbol, are you like trying to focus in on it?
Yeah, I'm trying to focus pretty hard because I assume
Okay.
we're probably walking next to the cart.
You are, yes.
I like to think that, as an Earth Ganassi, I have a pretty good Earth sense of what's in front of me, so I know where to put my 2 feet in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just kind of like closing my eyes and just kind of like looking
This
internally.
takes no mental power for you. You guys are just walking alongside a cart. It's not rocket science. So you're able to spend the majority of the day, if you would so do so.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you get the gratification of that symbol blinking again. It's never staying luminescent, but you're getting like blinks of a golden light enveloping
Okay.
it. It'll go away, and like I say, you can maybe get that out of it once every hour or so. That you focus and kind of get in that mind state where it'll start to kind of blink.
Okay. Am I able to glean anything? Get any contact from my lordship?
One thing you would know, and so this is like in game, I guess what your character would figure, right? I'm not in the same location and it's happening. So as I move, it's still able to happen. So it wasn't anything with that geolocation from last night. You do know that, you're near your comrades, you're near the Red Roosters, you're near Alaric and Aliana, so maybe it's something to do with one of them. But you can't really like isolate to see who it is. So that's kind of weird. You're trying to notice the pattern like every time you can get it to do it. And being an Earth Genasi, I would think you have a pretty good understanding of the Earth itself. It doesn't seem to be any sort of like rare soil or anything in that spot.
Okay.
You're having trouble deciphering the natural element of what's happening. Like there's no difference between anything in nature when it's happening. You just know that for some reason it's happening. And about the only thing that's the common denominator that you can put together is the people around you.
Okay.
Anybody else pulling in? We have about 20 minutes left to this session.
Yeah, so I'm interested to know how our charges pass the time. How Alaric and Oleana pass time while on the road.
So
I'll
you
even ask
can't you can't see into it, but if you would want, you could kind of just like walk with the slit open to like look inside. As you would peek in, both of them just seem to be reading. Alaric, it seems to be the spell book that he carries with him. Aliana, you don't know where the hell that book came from, but she has a book. You've never seen her carrying it before, but she has it.
I'd propose to
Witchcraft.
them, do you ever want a break from study while on the road? Or is it always books?
Aliana's eyes glint up towards you and then back down to her page.
Damn.
Alaric kind of looks at you, and my whole life has been books, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's how I make my living. It's the reason for my status, and I have to, keep up with the times. Like, magic changes every day.
Types have changed, old man. Incredible.
What about riddles or 20 questions? Simple games to give the mind a moment to rest.
I haven't time for games. What am I, a child? I am an established Archmagi.
I'm just gonna shrug. Yeah.
Disintegration ray. No.
Yeah. Finger of death. Shame on me.
Incredible. My goodness.
So
yeah, I mean they seem to be pretty boring. I will say that Alaric seems to legitimately, even though this is his spell book, which is odd, right? Seems to be studying something in it. Whereas Aliana just seems to be reading something, not studying, so to speak.
Okay, I get the distinction.
And
Then.
Yeah,
the difference in
that
that is
makes
really
sense.
just like the intensity to which they're kind of looking.
Nice.
If I can swing it, I'd like to just try to
Um,
drop without provocation, just a veiled riddle about some knowledge that I know that maybe he doesn't.
what knowledge in particular
Whatever I found in the cave.
about the item you found, or the writing, or
The writing, the culture, the era, like not the item in particular, but anything that I would have learned about whatever time all of that came from. Which I imagine I
okay?
might have learned something. If not, then I'll drop it about the item.
No, you would probably have learned something. I'm just trying to
Anything I
really
could have
gauge,
found in
I
a
guess,
book.
how well. Mm, yeah, so I would say that you would have found. Let me look real quick and see what books you have. I think I gave you. This one's set up differently than my old Roll20. I don't know where I put my library. Okay. What color are you? Orange. So you have the Laura Warlords of the North book.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me 1 second, guys.
No time for games, man, dude. No bueno.
Bet you he's fun at parties.
Yeah, seriously.
All work and no play, man. Makes wizards still boys.
All work and no play. Power word kill.
That escalated quickly, didn't it?
How do I spell that? There we go.
Power word kill. Incredibly catchy. What a tune.
Bobby, how do those gloves not catch fire?
That's a good question. I think I burn just enough to keep warm, and not really ignite things unless I'm getting really angry.
We'll have to keep you cool then. I
So
can
if
tell you
if I ever
one
get to
part of
that
those
point,
gloves.
I'll make sure I take my mittens off beforehand.
Hot hands. Hot hands,
If
Abby.
if they burned, the sheep would cry.
Yeah, I don't want to make the sheep cry. They're very kind. They've lent me their wool to keep myself warm. Even though I don't really need them, it's more of a status thing.
I can tell you're a very powerful man. Not everyone.
Not everyone owns mittens.
Exactly.
I don't
More of a
own
status thing.
mittens.
You must be
I think
very
it's just
wealthy.
friendly. Name someone who wears mittens that isn't friendly.
I once ate a halfling who wore mittens.
Oh,
Oh.
well, I'm assure you he was probably friendly and you shouldn't have eaten him.
All right.
They were a known thief. And
So
they would
that's
insult
something you
children.
would have gotten, and I guess the way you would have connected it.
Hmm.
Okay, thought just stops there.
All right. So I'd weave some type of riddle about, what am I? Um, I flow like a cask or I don't know what you call it, or a flask. But often, if you would find me on a map, you'd ask, something that rhymes, that has to do
Nice.
with water, and an area. Um,
Okay. So at Alaric's like face of disinterest towards your games turns to what you recognize as competitive nature.
yeah.
This is like, hmm.
But
And
you
he
don't have
begins.
time for games, so I should probably go elsewhere. And I'm just gonna like kind of start like walking away, like see if he takes the bait.
He begins. He begins thinking. Um, but before you can even drop the veil, Aliana, without even looking up from her book, says "A caronera,"
I'm just gonna give her a slight bow. She's good.
and
That's
her
one
eyes just
Aliera.
go up towards you. So you would know that no one should really know what that means. Really? Like, yes, you found it in a book. It's describing an area in Laura, um, the northwesternmost portion of Laura. It's unsure whether that refers to the area itself or the people that dwelled in that area. But the way that she said it, like, this is not a spoken language. So it is a bit odd. It's a bit fishy that she was able to get the pronunciation correct. Or at least what sounded correct. What sounded natural.
For one so rarely spoken, you say words like that pretty well. Without error, in fact.
She looks at you and just
Yep,
gives like a
nothing.
very short nod of confirmation.
Weird.
Weird. Some games can be fun. And I'll let them be. I got nothing else for them.
Okay.
Perhaps next game you can pick the subject of interest. And I'm gonna like tip. I don't have a hat, but nod to Alaric.
Ah, very well. How about this for a game? Let's see. He will propose a game for you.
I'm gonna like wave you guys over, like, come on,
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
get in this. It's like that one scene in the Legend of Drizzt books where the mages just have a contest to see like who can down the most. I don't know what it was, but they were doing something
Nothing
on an
good.
island. Yeah.
He asks you, what is the somatic differential between the spell of Fireball and Delayed Blast Fireball?
Oh shoot. As a player, I don't know. So how would
I
you
will
want to
tell you
adjudicate that?
as
Fireball
a
sounds like
character,
that.
yeah, that is a 7th level spell, which you probably, I don't think would even grasp the concept of.
The
How would
other
Just
you
in
like
one
me
terms
to
of
roll
sounds
for that?
ranged.
Given that I don't.
you can roll Arcana,
Mm-hmm.
but I would
Disadvantage?
say
Regular?
no regular, but I would say it would probably have to be a nat 20 for you to even like guess correctly, and you probably would just be spewing bullshit and get it right.
I have an idea. If I can't roll well, I would like to answer in a rhyme and just see if I land it, even if I don't know what the answer is. Nat 20! Ooh!
So um I envision this, right? So he asked the question with the most serious look on his face,
I would
Yeah.
like him to literally spit it back out immediately to him.
No, I kind of want to answer it in a rhyme just to be a shit. Like, I want to make him work to know if I know it or not. Like, how assholey is that?
Definitely a dick move.
Go for it. Can you take? So, like, I will say, just like trying to piece together mechanical BS, like the actual somatic difference that you would
Uh-huh.
guess is like you use 3 fingers instead of 2 in this
Okay.
motion or something like that. Because your somatic components are just kind of your hand symbols to that. So,
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Hmm. 3 instead of 2. Hmm. I
Sorry,
I
man,
don't know.
you're
I
on your
can't
own
think of
for this
any
one. I
rhymes.
suck
I
at
can't think
these
of
okay,
any
rhymes.
so
rhymes.
we'll like with a nat 20, like you're pretty well spoken. You're a wizard. You study a lot. So I would imagine that your character has a decent enough vocabulary where you weave together some sort of a riddle that Alaric doesn't get. Um and Aliana looks up at him and then towards you and then back to him and says, "He's not as stupid as he looks."
Wow.
And then just goes back down to her book.
Jesus Christ.
Like she's acknowledging that you got it correct.
Hey,
Like she understood your riddle and is telling Alarg that you're not as stupid as you look.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
sassy lassie.
um, and
Oh,
like Alaric is still visibly puzzled. Like he's trying to figure out your riddle.
I would say it's the difference between a party and a crowd. 2 is a party, 3 is a crowd.
Okay,
That's what I would say.
cool. So he's
'Cause
gonna
it's
try to
super.
figure that out for a while.
It's
So
a party.
are you just like mic dropping the canvas or
I would just frankly answer back, well, it's the difference between a party and a crowd. Really.
yeah? So he's not gonna figure that out until like for a while now. He will be pondering on that. So like in the meantime, are you just like mic dropping the tart, leaving
Yeah,
him to
I'll
figure
just
it out, or
I'll
okay?
just keep walking. Yeah, just mic drop the tart.
Incredible.
So you will have the satisfaction of knowing that throughout this entire 8 to 9 hour travel of the day, periodically, like he opens the tarp and just gives you a look of like this son of a bitch. Like he can't figure it out. It's bothering him that he can't figure it out. But like your character wouldn't know this, but like he keeps asking Aliana, like, so was he right? And she's like, yes. And he's like, I don't understand. What was the riddle? And she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not gonna
God
tell you.
damn. And he's like driving himself crazy trying to figure out this riddle.
It's amazing.
It's one of those 3 a.m.ers where you're just up late at night and your brain suddenly jolts.
Unfortunately.
So throughout this day's travel, you guys will make it about right here. God damn, snap where I want you to. There we go.
Yeah.
And you're about halfway to Serval. As we kind of settle down and rest for the night. I want to add something I forgot to mention earlier. This fog has never subsided.
It's kept with us, or it's just been consistent.
You don't see the edges of it.
Wow.
Like you've seen it as it rolled in, but it has just lingered. Like it is foggy for as far as you can see. Which your visibility is cut short. There doesn't seem to be any lingering effects to it as of yet, but it's been there. And you guys are stopping once more to rest for the night.
When in Saval.
What's that?
Oh, just like when in Rome, you know. All right. Well, if fog is business as usual, then
So yeah, I'm gonna just use this, reuse this map here. And we kind of just, You guys hear the two horns blow. We begin setting back up. You can get the general feel as people are setting up tents and whatnot. They're getting really excited as news is kind of being passed from the Vanguard on back that, like, hey, we'll be passing through Suval. You're expecting, like, all of the vendors and shit in the town to be set up roadside waiting on you guys to pass through. Because there were couriers as all of this was getting planned out that went ahead, planned out routes for everybody, stuff like that. So you're really hoping like you'll get your first taste of civilization, maybe be able to pick up food or something because you guys will be stopping through for the night. Or at least that's kind of how it's looking.
Nice.
So people are excited. Like morale is better than usual. And yeah, so hopefully the following night you guys will reach Suval.
Cool.
Is there anything you guys wanted to do on this night before business as usual, or?
I'm good tonight. I think we'll just let what happens and see what we see.
All
I'll do the same. I'll set an alarm as a ritual,
Yeah,
but that's
the
it.
classic, just checking scent trails, but other than that.
Okay. Obsidian. Go
Yes.
ahead and make me your craftsmanship checks.
Okie doke.
Go ahead and make it with advantage.
It says I'll just choose wisdom because that's what I'm good at. 28 with guidance.
All right.
God damn!
What
Let
a
me
legend.
write that down.
Sir,
I'm
that's
pretty
kind of a
good,
lot.
you know.
One thing that we learned in the last campaign, we need to start questioning people more quickly. Are you dragons?
Yeah, I am.
Dragons are extinct, man.
We need to be faster on the uptake on those questions next time around. Just lead in like
Yeah.
third question. You dragon?
I
Kansas
think
survey
that would
hits
be
different.
so hilarious in this campaign, as like it is general knowledge that like, dude, dragons died off thousands of years ago. What the fuck is this guy
It's the
talking about?
perfect disguise. Don't you see?
Everybody knows vampires can't go out in sunlight. Like, are you a vampire? Like, you've got to.
Incredible.
All right. So now I need wisdom saving throws from everyone.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not a vampire, but can I enter your home?
Hurt me. Hurt me, Jim. 7.
26 this time.
Damn.
You say wisdom?
I did.
Oh, is it against a magic
13.
effect that's trying to put me to sleep or charm me?
It is. No, neither
Okay.
of those things. All right. So Alu, you sleep peaceful as fuck. Everyone else, you fall into your dream state and kind of get the jump scare.
Spooky man.
Oh. You don't look so well, my friend.
But
That's
so upon and like your dream just goes as like normal, like whatever your normal dreams would be about, and this face just forms and you wake up pretty quickly. I mean, it's not like any crazy thing. It does legitimately seem kind of like a nightmare. It's just a really random thing to be seeing in a nightmare that you weren't thinking about or have never seen before.
Here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Given that I went to bed expecting this, is there any chance of randomness for me to have any type of lucidity in my dream to ask, like, what do you want from me? I don't know, because, I mean, I've never had a lucid dream as a person,
It
but I
is
figured I'd
not
ask.
how do I say this? It is just a depiction. It is not a being appearing in your dream.
Okay.
You're just seeing this thing. It's not, I can't think of the damn word. Sentient. There we go.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Does it say 7 days.
You're gonna die in 7 days. Oh,
7
silly! This is
days?
really bad.
So
Great
that
movie.
is the extent of your night.
Jesus Christ.
I
man,
will
it's
say
good.
that when you guys woke up, Triniac, as you kind of stayed awake the night before, I think you would have been a little more perceptive of this, but
Mhm.
a lot more people seem to be affected by this, by
Okay.
the random grunts and whatnot that you hear throughout the encampment.
Good.
So something's definitely up. And that is our hard stop point.
Oh wow.
And
Cool.
yeah, we got a late start today. Hopefully next weekend we will have enough of our stuff together to
Yeah.
get a full session in, which I think is highly, highly probable. So
I'm psyched. Let's go.
thank you everybody for tuning in to session 1 of Ashes of Xeralia. Once again, my name is Miller and I have been your DM this evening. And we will start with our outros.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's not it. GM layer. Thank you. All right.
Hey folks, it's me, Two Hands, playing Triniac Ballister, the High Elf Blade Singer Wizard.
Hello, I'm J Crew. I am playing Abi or Obsidian, the Earth Ganassi Forge cleric, and he's ready for his hammer to go off.
Incredible. Hey there, everyone. I go by Eludria Luna. I was playing the Shifter Druid. Fine.
All righty. Like I said, everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
And you guys have a great night. Thanks, everybody, for playing. And we will see you next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Thanks again to GM Miller for hosting.